If you are looking into installing a solar panel system for your home, but you don't know how everything works, you don't know how much it might cost, and you don't know what the process looks like, you've come to the right place. In this video, I'm going to be breaking down everything that you need to know regarding investing into a solar panel system for your home. From which panel to buy, to how much you should expect to pay, and what timeline you should expect to see before those panels are in your home. Those are all things I'm going to be breaking down in today's video. So what exactly is a solar panel and how does it work? Well, a solar panel, also known as a photovoltaic panel, is composed of solar cells, which are the primary component within a solar panel. Solar cells are made up of silicon and crystalline. A solar cell in a solar panel works by capturing the energy from the sun in the form of photons. When photons hit the solar cell, they are converted into electrons of direct current electricity, DC. The electrical current is then conducted through metal contacts on the tops and bottoms of the cell. The current is then passed through a solar inverter, which converts the DC energy into alternating current, AC power, which can be used in your home. Now, solar power that's produced from your panels is going to be cheaper than fossil fuel power, which is sold to you by the utility company, which is the reason why most people go solar, to save money. After government incentives are taken into account, the average solar system payoff period is anywhere from 4 to 9 years, making going solar a solid investment for homeowners who are looking to live in their home for the near future. It's first important to note that all homes and structures will not be compatible for solar. As we spoke about earlier, sunlight is required for the solar panels to produce direct current electricity, so if your rooftop happens to receive a lot of shade, solar installers might turn you away. In some cases, this problem can be avoided by alternative panel placements or tree trimming, but it is important to bring up. Software such as Google Sunroof can help you determine whether or not your home might be a good fit for solar, which is a software I recommend checking out. In a standard solar install, the three main components that you'll be investing into will be a solar panel, an inverter, and possibly battery backup. Let's go over each one. When you're looking into the type of solar panels to use, it's important that your solar consultant understands each panel's strengths and which one would be best suited for the project that you're looking into. Certain panels fare better in certain weather conditions and environments, which is why that is important to note. When evaluating which panel to go with for your investment, I recommend using this criteria. First, you must evaluate the performance and the efficiency of that panel. After that, you must evaluate the warranties offered by that panel manufacturer. And finally, you must look at the price and availability. If you'd like to see a video of me going further into different brands and really what's most popular on the market today, I do recommend checking out my video, which I recently posted, going over the 5 best solar panels in 2023. For example, if I was speaking to a homeowner in Phoenix, Arizona, I would likely recommend the REC Alpha Pure Black 400 watt panel due to the low temperature coefficient that it offers, meaning that the panel operates at a high efficiency under extreme heat. Whereas on the other hand, if I was speaking to a homeowner in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, I might recommend the Aptos DNA 440 watt panel due to its strength under severe weather conditions such as hail, which that area sees a lot of. Now, if you're looking into going solar, one term that you've likely heard is net metering. And it's quite honestly what allows the solar panel system to offset the majority of your home's energy usage despite the panels not producing power at night. Now, due to the fact that your solar panels will not be producing power when the sun is down, what happens is that during the peak sunlight hours of the day, which are typically between 11 o'clock in the afternoon and 3 o'clock in the afternoon, what is happening is that your solar panels are actually producing way more power than your home is actually using. And so what will happen is that extra energy is fed back onto the grid, and then what your utility company do is they'll take that power that you've sent back to the grid and they'll sell it out to other people and credit you what we call credits on your bill. Now, what those credits will do is they'll essentially pay for the power that you'll be using at night, which at the end of the day leads you to having an offset zero electric bill. Net metering plans differ based upon which utility company you're working with, and it's important that your solar consultant understands which program is available to you so he can properly design and explain to you which system he has put together for your home. Now let's transition over into the next component of your solar investment, which will be your solar inverter. Sometimes overlooked, the inverter is oftentimes referred to as the most critical part of your solar system. In essence, it's the inverter's job to turn the direct current electricity that the solar panels produce into alternating current, which is the type of power that your home will be able to use. In today's market, there are 3 main types of inverter systems offered: the traditional string inverter system, a microinverter system, and the power optimizer system. Let's break down the difference. A traditional string inverter system will be composed of one individual inverter for the entire system. This is going to be the most popular inverter system when you're looking at projects such as large commercial installs or even possible commercial rooftop installs. However, for residential installs, it is not recommended due to the fact that the inverter system will be handicapped to the performance of the lowest performing panel. This is why the second system, which is that string inverter system paired with optimizers, counteract that issue. With this system, each individual panel will have what is called a power optimizer, which essentially provides maximum efficiency for each panel, meaning that the string is not handicapped to the performance of the lowest performing panel. This is a great option for residential installs. However, there is one other type of system. The other type of system is what is called a microinverter system, where essentially each panel gets its own individual inverter, meaning that the system is no longer handicapped to the performance of one individual inverter. If you were to have one individual inverter, unfortunately, if that inverter would happen to fault or glitch, while you would have a warranty, unfortunately, your solar panel system would not be able to produce power until that inverter is swapped out. Microinverters do come at a slightly higher cost. However, it is a much more reliable system, and to most people in the industry, worth the extra investment. After you've chosen your inverter, it's time to consider looking into battery backup. Now, after being in the industry for a while, I would guess that between 5 and 15% of systems will typically have battery backup. Battery backup can be a great option in the event of a power outage. However, let's discuss what it looks like when you're investing into a battery system. Battery backup technology has become increasingly popular over the past decade, with companies such as Generac and Tesla leading the pack. Batteries are nice to have, yet the price that they can come in at turns a large majority of people away. And when you think about it, if the average home in America loses power for a little under 2 hours each year, the investment to some might not make sense. However, if you do live in an area that is much more prone to blackouts, or you live in a situation where you require electricity due to a health condition, then in that case, I would recommend looking into a battery. Batteries can in some instances cost more than the panels themselves, so it is important to determine whether or not this is something that makes sense for you. Now guys, I understand this process can be pretty confusing, so if you happen to have any questions, leave them down below in the comment section, and I should be able to provide you with an answer. Now that you understand the different equipment options that you have when going solar, how much should you expect to pay for a system, and how much should you expect to save? Now, currently in the United States market, with what I'm seeing, solar panel systems can cost anywhere from $2.80 price per watt to $4.75 price per watt. This will all be dependent upon which part of the country you live in, which equipment you choose to pair with your system, and how you choose to pay off that system. Now again, the price of a system is calculated by multiplying the size of your system in watts to the price that you're being charged per watt. So say for example, you need an 8,000 watt system to offset your home's electrical usage, and you're being quoted for $3 a watt. Your system would cost $24,000. Now again, there can be additional expenses such as the main panel upgrade, which will be taken into account and should appear in your quote. It wouldn't be reasonable for me to give you a baseline price per watt for your home for how much a system costs, because the primary factor driving the cost of a system is simply dependent upon how much your home needs to offset the electrical usage, which is calculated after we take a look at your utility bill and make a design. Additionally, labor costs do fluctuate, as well as local tax laws, which is why price per watt will also change. For example, in California, labor costs are high and taxes are high, which means that the price per watt will be a lot higher in comparison to a place like Florida, which has cheaper labor rates and no state income tax. Residential solar systems purchased by homeowners will qualify for a 30% tax credit, which will take care of 30% of the overall project cost for the system. The tax credit can seem a bit confusing at the start, so I do recommend checking out my video breaking down the tax credit if that is something that you want to look further into. Now, as I mentioned earlier, power produced from solar panels is cheaper than power purchased from the utility company on a price per kilowatt hour basis. And when paired with a 30% federal tax credit, this is the major reason why people choose to go solar. The typical solar payback period for solar will be 4 to 9 years, and the main thing which will affect that number is simply the price that you currently pay per kilowatt hour with your utility provider. And really the only way of knowing the exact number in savings would be working with the solar consultant who could provide you with the design, take a look at how many panels you might need for your home, and provide you with some pricing options. Now, when purchasing a solar panel system for your home, there are two primary ways that you can purchase the system, either with a loan or with cash. If you choose to purchase the system in cash, most companies require a 10 to 15% deposit, followed by the remaining amounts due later in the process. On the other hand, if you choose to finance the system, Most programs will be $0 down, followed by levelized monthly payments for the duration of the loan period. Now, being that solar contractors partner with financing partners to offer these loans, there will be slight origination fees when purchasing a system with a loan that will not apply to a cash system. There are certain loans with higher interest rates which may be cheaper up front, and it's important to communicate your goals in regards to how you choose to pay off the system with your solar consultant so they can help you make the right decision. And as always, guys, if you are in the process of going solar and you need to get a price quote, or maybe you already have a price quote and you just want to get a comparison just to see that you're getting a good deal, we are able to design and quote residential solar systems in over 25 states. And feel free to chat with us on a short Zoom call using the link below this video, and we would be happy to provide some pricing for you. Now you have selected which panel to purchase for your home, which inverter you're going to be pairing with the system, and whether or not you're purchasing a battery. You evaluate your quote and move forward with the company that you would like to work with. From here on out, what does the process look like going forward? Let's go over it. The process will typically begin with what we call a site survey. A site survey is where we typically have a member of our team come out to your property and take a quick inspection of your home. We look at the main service panel, take notes of where we're going to be installing the combiner box and revenue grade meter, and in some instances, get on the roof and take measurements. This process is typically done within the first 5 to 14 days of you signing up, dependent upon the season. I will add that certain companies have switched to what is called a virtual site survey, where instead they ask the homeowner to provide multiple pictures of the home and breaker box to avoid having to make a physical visit. And guys, just a reminder, all of these surveys and inspections will be planned out with you prior to the visits, so don't expect random people to just be coming onto your property, taking a look at different things without your permission. Everything will be planned and coordinated. At that point, once your home is deemed good to go, your installer will begin the process of pulling permits. In most cases, permits required include an electrical permit, a structural or building permit, and or a dedicated solar PV permit, though this all will depend on the local county laws and regulations in place. Once permits have been pulled, your solar installer may reach out to your HOA in order to receive approval for install. HOAs may ask for preferred placements of the panels on the install or ask to coordinate installation dates with you, which is why contractors must coordinate with them in the first place. Now, at this point, we will have to take a look at all the necessary information to sketch out a final system design, which will be ran through you for the final approval. At this point, we put a time on the calendar for install, which is all based upon the estimated permit approval timeline. Around this time, if not earlier, a utility application will be sent over to you, which is required to sign up for your local utility company's net metering program. When it's finally time to install, a crew, typically composed of 3 to 5 workers, will come out to your property and begin installation. Installation typically takes between 1 and 2 days, simply dependent upon the size of the system, how complicated the roof is, and whether or not you're also installing a battery. If it does happen to rain, installation will be postponed for that day, as OSHA laws prevent the workers from working in wet conditions on the roof, as well as the fact that it is not an installer's best interest to be working in these wet conditions. Once that system has been installed, we will have to conduct multiple inspections before you're given the green light to turn the system on. A member of the city will come out to check to see if the system passes local code, and a member of a utility company will come out and qualify your system for net metering, at which point they'll turn your system on. Now, in certain regions such as Miami, Florida, and Salt Lake City, you may have an additional inspection called a rough-in inspection. This is pretty much a midway inspection where an inspector will come out and take a look at the racking for the system before the panels have been put on top of the racking, so they can take a look at the racking for the overall system. This will add some time for the project if it is applicable to you, but it is required in order to put that system up. After everything has been approved, your utility company will switch on your inverter and you will begin to produce power from your own individual solar panels. Warranties offered by contractors typically include a 20 to 25 year roof and leak warranty, which covers any section of the roof that the panels cover. There are also additional warranties such as a 20 to 25 year workmanship warranty, which covers the hardware required to install that system, and a 20 to 25 year manufacturer warranty, which covers any standard manufacturer defects with the panels or hardware for 20 to 25 years. Additionally, your installer will service the warranties granted by the manufacturer of your panels and inverter and batteries, which is important to note. I hope this video serves as a good tool to wrap your head around what it looks like to go solar and answer some of the leading questions that you may have had. Again, my name is Jack, and I will see you guys next time.